Welcome home, Raiders. This week is Legion Beta around the corner. We have the scoop. Can you hear me now? BattleNet Voice is on the verge, plus a heck of a lot in the BattleNet news and more. This is CTR 214.
You're listening to Convert to Raid, the podcast for Raiders in the World of Warcraft.
The Convert to Raid podcast power station in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Soon to be something else, because there's a demo going to be going on in my house soon. So I got to give it a new name. A new name for every studio that I'm in. But that's not for a while yet. Still the podcast power station. Today is March 22nd, 2006. It's now 9:10 in the PM. Thanks for joining us from all around World of Warcraft land. And hello, everybody. My name is Pat Crane, the host of this little shindig. And as always, the players are here. Fresh from his European tour. I said European.
You're a child.
Yes, I am. It's Darius! Hey, buddy.
I'm back. It's been a long time. I was in Europe and Seattle and I'm back from Texas was a while ago. I've been all over the place.
I don't even know. It's been forever. Well, welcome back, buddy. Nice to see your face. Also coming back this week is, you know him from The Starting Zone and Stormcast and other podcasts that begin with S, and other things from the Spazbot Studios. It's Mick Montgomery. Hello, Mick.
Hi, guys. You know what? Pat, Gary's, and other person we haven't introduced yet, so I won't say your name because that would be stealing Pat's thunder. But I got a weird sales call today, Pat.
Yeah?
It's a weird call. Came to me on my cell phone. I was really upset about it. This guy called, tried to sell me a coffin, and I said to him, you know what, buddy? That's the last thing I'm going to need.
Yeah.
Last thing.
Yeah. Not good. And by the way, Shark's here as well.
I got one.
Oh, no. All right, Shark, what do you get?
This one's directly to Darius, though.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, if you're Russian when you go in the bathroom, and you're Finnish when you come out, what are you in between?
European. I know that one. I know that one.
Hashtag can't stop, won't stop, baby.
That's right. Dad jokes.
There you go.
This is why I left the show for a month. Now I remember.
Never leave the country again.
Oh, man. Well, hello, fellas. Welcome to the show, everybody. And we have a lot to talk about, actually. It's been a couple of weeks since the last show, and a lot of things have happened. Just in this week, really. In the last hour, stuff has happened. So it's going to be kind of cool to kind of run through some of this stuff and talk about all the new that's happening. Mick, are you ready? I know that you talked about all this stuff on Stormcast last night as well.
Yes, and also I went on my otherwise unknown podcast called Stormcast and talked
Stormcast, yes. Stormcast. Yes,
it's
Stormcast.
Speaking of Finnish, it's specifically for Finnish people. A lot of things happened in Heroes of the Storm. A lot of things happened today or this week for Overwatch patch notes. I mean, it's a whirlwind of Blizzard stuff this week. It might be one of the biggest Blizzard news week.
A swirlwind.
It's a swirlwind.
Yeah.
Not a whirlwind.
It's a swirlwind. I think that's at the Maelstrom. That's the swirlwind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is the worst.
It's a new shaman talent for Elemental.
Can't stop, won't stop, right?
Nope, never will. Never could.
Right on. Well, let's find out what we've been doing over the last couple of weeks in game. First of all, but Darius, I do want to catch you up with the rest of the crowd here. What have you been doing? You went to Poland, right?
Oh yeah.
How is that whole deal?
I did a Swirlwind tour of Europe.
Right.
I was in Ireland, then I was in Poland. Ireland was just for funsies. Poland was for IEM, the Intel Extreme Masters, so the big world championship of the Intel Extreme Masters for Counter-Strike and League of Legends and StarCraft, and that was really cool. That was fun to watch. They do it in Katowice in Poland, and it's in a big stadium, auditorium. Not an auditorium. It's a stadium. It's like if you go to BlizzCon, kind of where they do the StarCraft 2 tournament, it's like that, only 4 times as big, maybe. So there's probably 30,000 people sitting there watching Counter-Strike, and the other games. It was really cool. It was a lot of fun.
Good.
And then I was just in Seattle, not for video games.
No, you were there for soccer, right?
Yeah, there to watch them soccer.
You were watching soccers. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was not FIFA. It was not video game soccer.
No, it's the real thing. People were like bonking. Never mind. I was going to say stuff. It's just only going to be bad. So I will.
Balls? Were you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say something about soccer balls, and
okay.
Yep, it was going to be. It was going to be awkward. So I just decided.
Shark would have giggled, and then we all would have
decided to just kind of, but y'all giggled anyway. And it was awkward anyway. Mick, how about you, bud? What's been going on with you in games? Because you are in a lot of them.
So. Yeah, I am in a lot of them. Just playing usual batches of Heroes, and which has been good. It's going to be even better next week. And then playing a fair bit of World of Warcraft, and I'm getting all my alt army up, of course, because I'm not really that much reason to do that much raiding right now. But I do have a question I wanted to throw out to you guys. Sure. I got a level 100 bonus, like anyone who has pre-ordered Legion does. So what would you guys do? Should I just get what I really want to play up to 100, or should I just roll something that I haven't done before and boost that up to 100? Because my main's already at 100. So
okay. Main's at 100.
What would you guys do? My main's at 100.
I thought listener mail is at the end, isn't it?
No, it's right now. Damn it!
Let's do it now. Let's just kind of put our hats on. Darius would say, "Well, roll a priest."
What are the options? You said roll what you really want to play. Are you talking about rolling a second version of another of a class you already have, or
no? God, no. That would be just
redundant.
No, I was thinking like I've never had a level capped hunter and never had a level capped warlock. Those are the only two I don't have at level cap. So I was thinking maybe just boost one of those guys and play around with them for a bit. Or should I wait and see what my potential raid team needs and then use the boost then and take that gamble?
I tell you, man, I don't think you can go wrong with a hunter or a warlock. Because I like pet classes
or a warlock.
I like pet classes. That's the way I roll. Sometimes.
Okay.
And that's why I also play Druid, because it is a pet class, pretty much.
I actually rolled, I used my 100 boost for a hunter for a couple different reasons. One was because I wanted to have, hunters were performing really, really well. And I wanted to have something, a solid alt for my range class, my mage. So I had a warlock, and I'm just really bad at warlock. I don't know. I'm just not a very good warlock. But yeah, so I rolled a hunter, and another cool thing is survival is going to be coming out, which is a completely new way to play hunter. So it's great to have that and to be able to do that. And also I hear that they just, I don't know if we're talking about this later, but I heard that
talk about it now. It doesn't matter.
Talking about bringing pets back for marksmen.
Yeah,
there's a possibility that's something that they're going to do as well.
That's
so
that's probably going to happen.
Lots of cool reasons to roll hunters. That's what my vote would be, especially if you don't have one yet.
It sounds like the devs really were looking at hunters in the alpha, and they were getting a bunch of feedback from players, and they're gonna. It sounds like they're gonna try to have a lot of different options for hunters out there. So if you're playing Beastmaster, you don't have to have the 150 pets all at once that you're just throwing out all the time, and if you're playing marksman, you don't have to have no pet. So now you'll be able to have a little bit more option for that. So that's kind of cool. So looking forward to that.
All right.
And we're seeing some stuff from the chat room. One person said that leveling a hunter is really easy, which I would agree.
That's true. Leveling, you're missing out on the leveling experience with a hunter, which is fun, I think.
Well, and my Iron Man alt right now is a hunter. So I've already been chugging along there.
Oh, okay.
So I've been doing the Iron Man challenge with that.
Good. How far are you with a hunter?
I'm at 27. I haven't died yet. But
good.
the thing there with the Iron Man challenge is you can't pick a spec.
Yeah.
You can only wear whites.
Yeah, I know.
You can't take any buffs, and you can't die. And the second you die, you got to delete the tune. So I managed to get to 27 so far. So.
I think I managed to get to about 30, upper 30s, and then I had a mistake and wiped out. So
I had a mistake.
I had a mistake. I made a mistake.
I like the way
I made a mistake in my pants. I made a mistake in my pants, and I just I had to delete the tune.
Happens to the best of us, Pat.
That's right. That's
there
right.
You go.
Okay. And Darius, do you have any insight as far as what Mick should do other than roll a priest?
Roll a priest, or I suggest waiting until Legion, because it's not going to hurt you to leave the 100 just sitting there and then roll a priest when Legion comes out.
Right.
But, it's
because it's
whichever.
Because it's going to happen.
I know we're on the internet and we are the way we are and we're impatient. But it
just sits there with a little badge up in the corner of your screen, like, come clicketh me.
It doesn't hurt you. I mean,
no, it doesn't.
It does, though. You say it doesn't. It does a little bit. There's a little bit.
I feel like it
calls to you.
I left mine up there for about a month before I finally.
It calls to you in your dreams. I used mine on a warlock, so there. But then again, I already had a hunter at
right.
Yeah.
So there. Shark, what has been going on with your game life recently?
Well, we're still raiding with to hardcores. We're going in between farming some normals and tier gear. I don't think I finally got my 4.
Oh, wait, hold on a sec, because this is actually kind of funny, because I got somebody talking to me about how this happened.
I'm gonna talk
so
about
you
that.
you gotta tell the story. You gotta tell it the right way, because it's
First of all, I call it my pants the entire time as we're getting like, okay, we have to kill Gorefiend and get my pants
for your 4-piece set.
For my 4-piece, and I keep calling them my pants, my 4-piece.
Right.
Well, they roll, and I roll like a 60 or something, and there's a couple 90s and 80s, and I'm like, okay, so who needs this for their 4-piece? And everybody's like, wait, is that a loot rule? And I'm like, it is now. So I ended up anyway, but I was trying to be like, look, if you want it, if you need it, how are we going to do this? It was also heroic, and a lot of people still have their normal gear, so it was an upgrade for people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we decided to change, sort of focus on getting everybody their set bonuses before upgrading gear.
See, now I heard from a source, and I can't remember who it was, but I heard that there were a bunch of people rolling against you that had no reason to roll whatsoever.
Now, that was also true. And I was really frustrated. We rolled on Vanquisher, and there was a warrior that rolled, it was just all sorts of stuff.
Nice.
I have a really trolly now, but I would also be remiss. My raid team has said, if you're going to be on the show on Tuesday, you have to say, we were doing Sokrathar, and the part where he's got the he puts out those green circles that you have to take out of the raid, right? You know, some of you guys, I know what I'm talking about. But you have to move those circles out of the raid during phase 2, right?
Yeah.
Or it does a lot of damage. So we're working on this. We've wiped a few times. We're getting really close. At one point, we had him to like 5% or something. We're getting really, really close. We're working on it. And all of a sudden, the entire raid just blows up. And I'm screaming at people. I'm like, what just happened? Who stood in the middle of the raid with the disease? Why can't you guys not get simple practice like this?
I can tell you who it was.
Hard.
I know who it was.
You know exactly who it was. I'll let you guess.
One guess. I know this story. We were on the same team together.
It was
I've raided with you.
Yes.
They're like somebody goes, that debuff was on Melon. I was like, and Melon's name in my mage. I was like, what? And I think I was like, I went from yelling to go, oh, was it? Oh, sorry.
Oh, crap, guys. Oh, crap.
But it was delightful. And so, yeah, they said that if I didn't embarrass myself on the show, they were going to write it and embarrass me. So, So raid leaders out there,
we go.
Be careful before you start fussing at your team.
That's right.
That's because it very well could have been you.
You know,
I know.
Is there not a time where you don't embarrass yourself on the show?
sometimes, maybe.
But something else awesome that happened to me this week in in gaming. If anybody is familiar with Here's the Storm and Here's the Storm Pro Play, the former Tempo Storm captain Dreadnought coached adults with jobs for 2 hours last night.
Oh, cool!
He sells coaching sessions,
That's
and
awesome.
one of our members, Randy, was nice enough to donate a coaching session to us, and so we're sitting there in the middle of practice, and Randy's telling our captain, like, "Hey, I want to do some stuff. I want to run some drills today." And we're like, "Okay, sure, whatever." So he's like, "Wait a second, I got somebody that I need to call to help me with what we're gonna do." It's like, "What?" And it's Dreadnought in our Skype call.
Nice.
So that was a lot of fun. We had a blast. He's so knowledgeable, such a passionate player. Like, even when he was coaching, I mean, if anybody's watched his stream, I definitely recommend his stream. But really passionate, really, really fun, and some great stuff. So that was just a real fun thing.
So cool. That's so cool. That beats my week, which was I got up to level 20 on a new hunter. You know, Hearthstone. We'll talk about that.
Deal.
We'll talk about that in a little bit, I'm sure. Okay, but before we get going, I just want to tell you where we're at with the alpha right now. We're not going to really talk about it too much. We're just gonna say what it is. Okay. So as of right now in the alpha, just to kind of give you guys an update, and actually we will talk about this a little bit later. But right now, what is it? Destruction is the only spec that we haven't seen. Only spec that we haven't seen. And all dungeons are available in heroic mode and all this kind of stuff. It's looking good in the alpha. It's looking kind of more filled out. It's looking a little bit more filled out. So very, very, very good stuff. I'm liking it.
Yeah, I got to play some Frost Mage today.
Good.
I actually jumped in and played
How's
a little
that?
bit. It's really smooth.
Good.
Like right now, sometimes Frost seems a little. I mean, it's with the 4-piece. It's basically you're casting Frostbolt and then casting an Ice Lance and just doing that 1-2 1-2 1-2.
What mages are doing 1-2 again?
A lot of the fight. Well, a lot of it's called Frost Weaving, right? And so your filler spells are switching with your class trinket. But this seems it just seemed a lot more fluid. Like casting the Frostbolt didn't seem to affect the GCD as much or something. Everything seemed a lot more. And I was playing with and the idea of playing without they have like a lone wolf style now where you can play without your elemental. And cool. I was playing around with that a little bit. It was kind of interesting, but other than that, Alpha's still super buggy, at least with those quests. Like, really bad buggy.
Yeah, it can be. That's for
They're
sure.
there. The playstyle's there. But it's just something like you go to turn something in and that person's not there.
Right.
And so you just have to log off.
Right.
And log back on later and hope that they fix the bug.
But it's shaping up. It's shaping up. They're starting to reveal a lot more. I mean, we've got, what was it, like 3 or 4 different specs in the last couple of weeks, and that's always nice. And they're always doing balance changes and trying to try new things, and it's cool. It's cool. It's very good.
Yeah.
And one other thing that may be real is something that we saw on MMO Champion today. Is this today?
Yeah, I saw it today. I saw it tweeted out
Darius,
today. Yeah.
Darius, what did MMO Champion blurt out today?
Well, MMO Champion managed to get a snippet that was posted to the BlizzCon website, probably accidentally, because it was quickly removed. And this is something that happened in the past as well. It was either last year or the year before. But basically it said, it had this little blurb about this is the 10th BlizzCon and the 25th anniversary of Blizzard, so-and-so, and then it had the dates. It had Friday, November 4th and Saturday, November 5th, 2016.
So get ready, guys! No, it's not an actual announcement. This is not an actual announcement. I was going to do this, but then it's not an actual announcement, so I can't do it.
Yeah. It would be
It's-
awful if they decide to change this last moment. All of us go and get our tickets now because we're like, oh, and then all of a
Right.
sudden it's the following weekend.
Right.
It's not an announcement, so don't book your hotels,
No.
but it's an announcement,
No.
so be prepared.
So, be prepared.
book your
to,
hotel
Be prepared to book your hotel.
and buy the insurance to where you can switch weekends.
Yeah. Always do that. You gotta always do that.
So there you go.
That's pretty cool though, man. BlizzCon coming up. And actually, I was looking last week or the week before about when they announced last year, and it was right around this time. It would have been last week. Last year. Very cool. So it's coming. It's coming, guys.
Yeah.
Right, Mick?
Yeah, they've got to get it out sometime, right? I mean, we've got to get
Yeah.
the tickets, and the
Yeah.
hotels, and the things
Yeah.
happening. And by the way, for folks that want to, rent a house, or maybe if you're producing content and you got to line up like all your resources, there's just a lot of things that have to happen. So it's a little puzzling that they haven't announced it already, but.
Yeah.
At the same time, as we said in the pre-show, I'm not going to be surprised if we don't get an official announcement till after April 1st, because obviously they're going to do their April Fool stuff, and then they don't want to confuse everybody in that situation. So I think that it might be another week or two before we see anything, but I don't think that there's any doubt that BlizzCon isn't going to happen. And if I were going to put my money on a date, even without this leak on MMO Champion, I would have picked the first week of November for the date for the con.
Right.
That's what I would pick. I would just wonder if maybe potentially there is some internal questioning as to whether or not to finally extend it to 3 days or to squeeze everything for esports on a separate day.
Oh man.
That's something that has been rumored to be a consideration time and time again.
Well, how many days did they do the pre-show stuff for esports?
Well, the pre-qualifiers for esports last year were the Friday and the Saturday and the Sunday before BlizzCon.
Right.
Last year. So that's when they did the Heroes of the Storm kind of first round matchups. They did the Hearthstone first round matchups and the WoW PvP arena first round matchups. So, it'll be interesting to see if they decide to finally, put a lot of that stuff on its own pedestal, because for those of us who are now, and I think more and more Blizzard gamers are becoming more and more esports savvy or esports fans, very hard. And we know this when you're at BlizzCon, it's very hard to enjoy all the other things that are going on at BlizzCon when you've got your friends, you've got panels, but then right in the middle of everything are these giant juggernaut noisy matches that are taking place. And that obviously pulls a lot of eyeballs to it because it's a lot of fun. So, I think it would be great if they did like a Sunday with the finals matchups, stacked, like Hearthstone, Heroes, and, next year and WoW PvP. And then probably next year, I wouldn't be surprised if we got either at least an invitational or a full-on Overwatch tournament.
Oh,
so,
man.
that's going to be crammed
packed
into this too.
That's going to be a packed weekend. Holy
yeah,
crap.
exactly. So 2 days to me just doesn't seem like enough to get. I hate to say it this way. It's like I don't feel like I get my money's worth because there's all this great stuff. And it's really tough to even get an opportunity to see all the things that you want to see, and it's going to be harder and harder for Blizzard gamers to do that.
Yeah, well, and it becomes, for guys that are going to BlizzCon that really enjoy esports, it's going to become, well, I'm going to go to all the matches, and then I'm going to watch everything later online because all the panels and stuff like that, they're going to be, available for the next few weeks on the BlizzCon site. But
do you think there's not going to be a whole lot of panels this year? It's going to be a huge focus on esports. There's no new game to announce. There's no Legion will be out by then.
That we know of.
Yeah, Overwatch will be out by then. What do you have your big talks on? There's not going to be a whole lot, and they're going whole hog into esports right now. So
yeah.
Why wouldn't they focus everything on esports and just say, all right, here's the opening ceremony, here's art direction for Overwatch, a few things like that, but if you're here, it's esports. Watch some video games.
I don't know. I think they have so many different things to choose from as far as what they want to do, and I think that especially those panels would be really great for storytelling, right? For all the storytelling type of things that they want to do within those games, and whereas esports is all the action, The panels would be great for exploring the art and exploring the different storylines, especially when you're talking about Overwatch, because I mean we just saw the animated short with Winston and it was beautiful, it was great, and they're going to be coming out with a lot more of that stuff. So maybe one of the panels is going to be all about the comics and animated shorts that they have planned for the next year or whatever. Yeah. So I mean,
well, with this time frame and everything becoming so crowded. We complained this year that Gamescom, for a lot of WoW fans, got upset that BlizzCon ended up not getting the Legion announcement that it was announced at Gamescom in Europe previously in the summertime. Now, I think what's going to start happening is we're going to start to see more and more big announcements at other conventions because they just don't have the space to cram it into BlizzCon in the opening ceremony and give it due justice. But as our chat room has also pointed out, there is the only thing that was rumored to be out there that hasn't been announced yet is either another Diablo 3 expansion or Diablo 4. So that could potentially be the big news for BlizzCon next year, at least in terms of new content coming out, because we know that Overwatch is just going to be downloadable content stuff, or unless the rumored potential campaign stuff for Overwatch gets announced at BlizzCon next year.
Well, I mean, I just
there's
think
not that much big stuff that I think is feasible for them to announce.
I mean, not necessarily with gaming, but I think that when you talk about, because they have the new studio that's going to be coming around as well, the TV studio and stuff like that. So they're going to be announcing I'm guessing that's going to be a part of BlizzCon at some point. So, I mean, geez, there's just so much that they could do during that.
They could, if Warcraft the movie does well, they could announce the sequel, Warcraft 2.
That's exactly what I was.
Which I know they've already started working on the script. So that could be an announcement. So there's a lot of things.
Well, absolutely, they'll announce the sequel.
By the way, I just want to say this: did you guys see the new TV trailers and stuff like that? They had like 2 new 30-second commercials in the minute one. They're awesome.
Well, that one of the human versus the orc, that trailer, that's the Comic-Con footage that we never got to see.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
In its high fidelity rendering.
Nice.
So,
really good job. So I want more of that. That actually sold me on the movie more than the original trailer did. The 2 minutes of exposition where they're talking about how we need to save our world, that type of thing. It didn't really move me so much. The action, though, oh, come on.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, especially that one particular, there's a lot. I think it just starts with like towers crumbling off of a city and explosions, and there's a picture of it's like a human like diving underneath an orc and slicing him from underneath, and like it's all sorts of. It was really a lot of action, but like they were showing what they could do with the not just look at how real the orcs look, but look at how well we can make the action look as well.
Right, as Derry's cat goes in and out of frame.
Oh yeah, and they showed the dwarf in this. We finally saw a race other than humans or orcs,
and he looked exactly like the dwarf from the first from the original game trailer, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, a lot like him, and he had his blunderbuss gun or blunderbuss pistol thing.
Yeah,
really cool.
It's very cool.
I can't wait to see it. I want to see how it all comes together. Like I know the general storyline, but I want to see what they do. I want to see how it all comes together.
As long as we're here on the movie, let's talk about this for a second before we talk about the news, which we're already kind of into anyway. So the Warcraft movie is a big deal. We all know this, and we are doing something in the Minneapolis area here. We're doing the Minneapolis meetup or Minnesota meetup / Warcraft movie thing. I talked about it a couple of weeks when we did the show, and we're saying the movie is going to be free, and you can get it admission to the movie totally free. Come join us. Just go over to wellplayedparty.com and you can check it out. We actually had all tickets claimed, all of our original tickets claimed, but thanks to some wonderful donors, we were able to get some more seats. So we have opened up more seats, and they're available. Darius, are you coming out for that? Are you planning on it?
I don't know if that's going to happen. Not unless someone wants to buy me a plane ticket, because it's like $350 to fly to Minnesota for whatever reason.
Yeah, there are lots of interesting things in Minnesota.
Fly to Boston for cheaper than that.
Well,
I'm still trying to think of interesting things in Minnesota.
Oh, so unless that happens, I don't know.
I'm here.
I know that a few people in this area were going to try to see it, so maybe we'll do something out here if I don't get out to Minnesota.
Right on, right on. Well, we're going to make a weekend out of it. We've already got lots of stuff planned for Friday and Saturday, and we're going to go see the movie on June 11th. It'll be a private showing just for our friends here. So go over to wellplayedparty.com if you're interested. And with that, we should probably just, get into the news or something. What do you say?
Calling all raiders from around World of Warcraft land. This is raiding news.
It's time to check out what's happening with the news for raiders around the World of Warcrafts. And up first, there's a new launcher that they just that Blizzard just released, and this launcher is kind of cool. Darius, I know you're not in it.
I know.
I might be the only one in it, which is
part the only reason alpha that I've ever not been in. From
I'm in the alpha launcher.
Oh, awesome! What? Cool. Then we can check it out. We can check it out because I'm in it.
I think so.
And I don't know.
It's had me upgrade it, and it says alpha underneath my launcher. Now.
Yeah.
You could talk to Shark and only Shark.
Right. Right. But it's the new BattleNet Voice stuff is in this alpha launcher. Mick, do you have it?
Oh, I'm opening my launcher right now to see if I do.
Well,
I know I did get an update like Shark did.
So then you might have it as well. But in this new current alpha, they're basically doing kind of a Discord-style chat thing where you can create multiple channels of up to 99 players, and voice chat can be enabled in any active chat channel. So, and obviously if you have voice enabled in one particular chat channel, guess what? That's the only chat channel you can actually have your voice in, because otherwise you'd just be annoying everybody else, right? Too many conversations.
That's the point of voice chat.
Yeah. But you can crosstalk throughout the games of Blizzard, and you don't even have to be online. You just have to have the launcher online, I believe. So this is kind of cool, guys, right?
Yeah, it's a great first step towards, I know I haven't obviously been in the Overwatch beta. But
I need a salt thing. I need a salt sounder.
There's no salt there, just stating facts.
Right.
And I would say that a lot of folks have really been positive about how at least the voice functionality in Overwatch has been going.
Yeah.
So this makes a total sense. It doesn't make any sense for Blizzard not to have some kind of system that's ingrained within either Battle, and it's best that's in BattleNet because that transcends all the different games that you would play if you play a lot of different Blizzard games. So this makes sense to have something like this versus, Mumble or Discord or another service. And those are all great services and they work fine. It's just this seems a better way to start to socialize the player base even more so than we have up until this point. So this is totally the right move. I'm just surprised that it's just now rolling out.
Well, yeah, and I was kind of wondering, the big thing that I was kind of thinking about as we kind of rolled into the lull of World of Warcraft was how are we going to keep, I'm also a guild leader on top of everything else. So I'm like, okay, how are we going to keep this guild going? And that's one of the reasons why we moved over to Discord was to make sure that everybody could chat with each other and have a good time. So I'm glad that Blizzard is on the same path where they're saying, you know what? We are Blizzard gamers. We are kind of opening ourselves up as a community to all these different games and these different experiences. And it's kind of cool now that we will be able to, when this thing comes out, we will be able to communicate with everybody, all of our friends, and be able to play whatever the hell we want, which is cool. And be able to talk to each other and have a good time. And this means that for, like raid teams and stuff like that, you won't need Mumble. You won't need anything else because you can just join a chat channel and then enable it with voice.
That's the thing that I'm sorry, Mick.
Go Sharku, go,
okay.
Make it happen. Say the things.
That's the thing that I think can be really good because especially as someone who leads a raid, if you ever have to pug for any reason, or you have somebody's friend come in and there's a guild rule that that we're not supposed to give out our password, or that they don't have Mumble, they have TeamSpeak and Vent but no Mumble, and or all these different things, or God forbid you want to try to join somebody for PvP and they insist you have Skype, but they don't want to share their Skype information with you, and all these sorts of problems that can come up. by having something in the game that can solve their problems, as long as the quality of the service is adequate. You know what I mean? I think that this is a fantastic idea. Keep everything in-house. People with low-performing machines don't have to worry about having different programs running at once. It's all part of, our Blizzard BattleNet launcher.
Yeah.
So it's all built in the game. And new players that come in, it's not that big of a deal anymore. I think most people have a concept of at least what something like Skype is. But new people coming into the game that don't want to download a third-party program like Mumble or something like that, or even Discord, which is a great service that's similar. It's right there for you.
Discord.converttoraid.com, just in case you're interested.
There it is. But yeah, there you go.
Right. No, you're right. Go ahead.
I would like to point out, though, that Discord, for example, does a lot of great things, too, in terms of centralizing and providing a platform for everybody to talk all the time. So I didn't read or didn't catch up. BattleNet isn't necessarily an app on my phone.
No.
So that is also something that I'm hoping comes down the line, is some sort of iOS integration so that you can do exactly what you use Discord for now. You could use Twitter and all that stuff, or GroupMe. But that type of functionality, I think, is something that would be good to roll out in maybe a second phase or so for this particular feature.
And as it stands right now in the alpha, it's just while you're logged in. It's not any other time. So you have to be logged in. As soon as you log out, you're out of all those channels. Those channels just go away, which is fine for the most part. So it's not like a bad thing or anything like that. But yeah, the room for growth on that for sure.
I think that the old Armory app could be updated.
Really?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Wait.
Something that could be a thing that would be great to have, and make it the BattleNet app rather than the WoW Armory app. I don't know how much effort they're going to be putting on at Blizzard for something like that. But it's like what Mick was saying, it could be completely useful. And Failstar in the chat brought up a really great point. Voice chat in LFR, anyone?
Yeah.
turning that voice chat on. That won't be toxic at all. I'm pretty sure everyone that ever goes into LFR will have voice chat muted purposefully.
Well, us old timers, though, do remember the days when you would do like pug runs. Remember we used to do like rep grinds for ICC, And back we had, 25 mans, and people would be like, oh, we're going to do a rep run on ICC. And you would go in there and be like, I'm going to jump into the mystery mumble. Let's see how this works out for me. Some of the more interesting stories in my World of Warcraft career come from that experience. So it's not, it's survivable, Sharku. You can live through.
Oh, agreed. Oh, yeah. Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
It's a lot. It's a lot different when it's 25 people, though. When it's 25 people, it's a lot different, because we all know that there's that one guy that goes off as soon as he gets through the portal. He goes off in the corner and shoots whatever the hell's over there that nobody else is looking at, and he just tries to like tank it himself or something.
But this isn't. I don't think this is what you guys think it is. It's not when you join LFR or join a party. It doesn't join you to a voice channel with those people. You have to invite everybody to it, which I think is inherently the problem with it. The only way to invite somebody is if they're in your friends list. And I don't want to be friends with everybody in CTR, say, for example. And my friends list doesn't either. It's not big enough. So, I can invite the people that I talk to or want to talk to, but we're already all in Discord or Mumble or Skype or whatever.
Sure.
I think this is way too late. Way too late.
Well, it's definitely.
I don't see this happening, and I definitely don't see people wanting to add lots of random people to their BattleNet.
No, I think what it is for how I read it was that anybody can invite, so you don't have to put everybody on your friends list. If you have a friend of a friend, guess what? They can throw them in. That's fine.
Then I have to find that person if I want to add this person later on. Whereas if you're in Discord or Mumble, you just say connect to it. I can't say connect to BattleNet because that doesn't help at all. So.
Well, we'll see how it rolls out. I mean, I think that'll be the real test is seeing exactly what this thing can do and what it can't do. So.
Yeah, I saw it as a different thing too. I saw it as like you can enable chat in your, let's say you're in your instance chat, and you can enable voice chat in that.
No,
that's what I thought it was, something like that. But okay.
And Darius does enjoy being a hermit.
You have to invite everybody if you have to have them in BattleNet. Like right now, BattleNet's only 200 people. How can we possibly have?
It's only 99 channels. I mean, guilds are only supposed to be to 100. So
yeah, it's
or 1,000. Sorry. So I don't know.
I think it's too late. And I mean. I do enjoy being a hermit because when I go out there, people see me and then they say, "Hey, let's send Darius left sharks."
Yeah.
And then my mailbox is literally full of left sharks.
That may have been my bad. Darius, I don't know what happened.
Harry Peak.
I know there was
Harry Peak.
I know there was a joke.
I had to put. I mentioned this in Discord earlier today, but I had to put a couple people on ignore because I would wake up every morning and my mailbox would be literally full of individual left sharks.
You know what? Our audience makes me proud every single time.
I'm trying to figure out.
I hate you.
Trying to figure out what members to hardcores are the ones you had to put on ignore.
Well, let's move on. I know that we've got a lot of stuff still to go here, so let's talk a little bit about Legion coming up. We talked about the alpha already. And according to MMOgames.com, beta is coming soon. TM, of course. And it looks like they might be right. I don't know. Darius, what's going on?
So, Icy-Veins let slip, or I didn't really let slip, but they were talking about their...
they made a post.
Yeah, they made a post about their anniversary, their big, anniversary.
5 year. Yep.
5-year anniversary, yeah, and that they were going to, as part of that, be giving away beta keys for Legion.
Yeah, and they're doing it this week, and I mean, basically, they're doing it the rest of March. They're giving away 200 beta keys, and they're doing it through the rest of March. And this is news.
It's either Icy-Veins has keys and the beta's coming out, or Icy-Veins is about to fish 200 people,
right,
for the login credentials.
Who knows? Could be both. But this is kind of interesting. So, according to Icy-Veins, we're going to have beta keys, which is cool because that means that anybody can get in, presumably. And that also probably means that beta's coming April 1st. How's that? It'll be open for one day and then it'll be all down.
It's the worst day to open.
That would be the worst.
Doug said it, not me.
No, that would be. So thoughts on this, fellas? Anything? Mick, you got anything?
Well, I mean, it's not surprising that beta keys are going to be a thing again, so that's fine. I think that we got to get into the beta. As you mentioned earlier on the show, nearly all the specs are now in place outside of Destro. You could go into beta without Destro. You've got enough content for people to play around with at this particular point. And I think that going into beta would be healthy right now for the game. And if they don't do it in April, then in some ways, it's not like that will be overlooked. But when you have Overwatch coming out at the end of May, that's a fairly big, significant launch. And then, a couple weeks after that, you have the Warcraft movie coming out. So sometime between April and June, the beta's got to release. And, that really affects the timing of when we're going to see the game, because I think they need a good at least 12 weeks of beta time before they decide to go live with the launch of the game. So I think it's fine to just go ahead and push into beta and let's just get this going. But I also understand that with a previous expansion that's not super well received, and there's been a lot of criticism that game was not finished when it launched, and a lot of things that were promised never happened, at least didn't happen on time. I can understand why Blizzard would take extra time to try and make sure that they have all the things that they promised ready to go when they go with their launch, because they really can't afford to fail and have a repeat of some of the issues from Warlords leak into Legion.
Sure, but the question is if haven't they already taken a lot of time in alpha? Because I don't think we've necessarily. Maybe it's just that I haven't noticed it, or that we haven't seen too much
we've
as
had
far
it for
as like
so
alpha,
long.
right? Right,
and we've had it for so long though. But when alpha launched, it wasn't much. If you remember the first day or so that we had World of Warcraft Legion Alpha, all it was the Demon Hunter starting zone.
It was an hour of content.
That's nothing.
That was a demo.
Exactly. And over time, we still don't have all the zones up. We still don't have a lot of the things that you would expect. So does a full beta have to be as close as possible to a release version? I don't know. I'm not in Blizzard's headquarters, and I'm not a dev there, so I don't know what their philosophy is. But I do think that if they put it out in April sometime, shortly after the BlizzCon announcement, that's probably a good time to launch the beta for World of Warcraft and still steer clear of all the Overwatch hype and Warcraft movie hype.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah. Anything else on this, fellas? Because I think, the only other thing that I have for Warcraft news was Hearthstone news.
It's a combo.
I know. It hurt my brain a little bit because
Hearthstone.
Taco and an enchilada, all in the news.
Exactly. Liadron, that's how you pronounce it, I think, was released into the wild, a new paladin person. I don't even know. What do you call that character?
It's Lady Liadra, and she's a blood elf paladin.
Yes. And she's if you want to play as Liadrin in game, Shark, what did you have to do?
You had to level up to level 20 or have... See, and here's the question, because I've heard people that I know have characters past level 20 that are leveling new characters up to 20. I don't know if that's for separate accounts or because I just got Liadrin because I had a character in World of Warcraft on the same account over level 100. Is that the way it should work?
No, that's not the way it should work, I don't think. I think it was
because that's
everybody
the
had
way
to do
it was
new.
For me. I didn't level anything up to 20.
What?
I haven't leveled it. Yeah, I haven't leveled anything. I logged into Hearthstone and it said, "Here's Liadrin. Congratulations." So
as far as I know,
the way I understood it, you just had to have a character above level 20. So everyone that already plays World of Warcraft, great.
You had to have the achievement for getting to level 20, which I believe they redid, especially for Hearthstone.
Oh,
somehow
mine got redid. I don't know.
It got redid. Got redone.
Because I have the achievement for level 20, but I never leveled a new one up. So I don't know, Blizzard, if you're out there, bug warning. I don't know. I have no problem leveling character to level 20 to get Liadra back. She's a lot of fun to play. But I was noticing that. I was like, that's not how it worked for me.
Well, and they said that even in chat they're saying this. They said that they weren't going to apply it retroactively. That it was going to be a new thing since March 11th, I want to say, something along there. So you have to level up a character past level 20. Hopefully you have one that's like
you
19.
have to ding level 20. I have not played on any level 20. So
do you have a level 20?
I don't think so. I'm going to log in real quick.
Check it out.
Double check. To make sure I'm not. Because I want to say maybe it's a bug, and I would love to hear any stories from anybody that's listening. They're like, yeah, the same thing happened to me. I thought you just had to have a level 20. I have a level 21 rogue is the lowest character I have on Airy Peak, and I haven't played any realm other Peak.
Maybe it's the gold farmer on your account.
Oh, that's
no, that 21 rogue has always been 21, I believe.
That's funny.
Well, I don't think I've played my rogue at all. In Darius can check. He's probably not even in the guild anymore because he's been kicked out 3 or 4 times since.
Probably, yeah,
right.
Because I don't log into him that often. So yeah, I don't know. Weird story.
Right on. Well, for the rest of us, you have to level up a new tune to 20, and apparently you have to do it by handing in a quest. That's what Dark Okies in the chat says. So, and not from a dungeon. So there you go. I know that I had a few. I spent some time. I put on the heirlooms, but I didn't do much else. I just kind of went through kind of slow. Took like 2-3 hours maybe max, with breaks. So it wasn't tough. With that, we will go into the BattleNet news. And what?
We forgot to mention how Blizzard has added voice chat to the BattleNet client, but still has yet to figure out a way to add a do not disturb option or an invisible option to the BattleNet.
This is true. They promised that for Warlords, I believe, and they didn't come through on that. So
they have do not disturb, but they don't have
invisible.
They just have away, which doesn't prevent or busy or whatever. But I
All right.
Come on.
Well, let's take a look at some of the big headlines coming from around the Blizzard universe. And since we're already at Hearthstone, let's start at Hearthstone. We have a couple of things to talk about there. The deck recipes are now live, and they're not great. I don't know. Shark, have you played around with the deck recipes that they have?
I saw a couple of them, and as soon as I was started to see, what is it, the Sunwell something summoners or whatever that just give you a 1/1, like some of those really old vanilla cards that were good back in Classic but have been power creeped out for the most part at this point.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Yeah. I tried
so much. They are solid for new players.
Yeah.
They're absolutely solid deck options.
I
don't know how many new players would have that many cards.
I tried to play them, and all I did was I just lost rank. That's all I did, because I was at like rank 17, and I went all the way down to 20. I was trying all the different decks. So
yeah, and I think they might be able to get you to 20 if you're starting at 25.
Yeah, it won't get you much past that.
Starting at 25, it will get
It'll take all month to do it.
And you don't lose. Well, and you don't lose any. You don't lose anything. So if you want to get to 20 to get your card back, and you're a new player, I think this is a great option.
Yep.
Outside of that, I do not see anything positive about the recipes.
Right.
But that's what they're for. They are for new players. They designed that to say, hey, here are some more options to just the one basic Paladin deck that we've built. We've built a couple different Paladin decks that require cards that are outside of the basic set, but we can help you find those cards. We can show you what cards you can dust to make this deck happen. So it's a stepping stone in between that and doing it on your own.
For those guys that are beginning players, sure, it's a great effort by Blizzard to kind of get you started and to get you thinking about these different cards. For players that regularly get to level 20 or whatever, and by the end of the month, there are better options. That's all I'm saying.
Agreed.
That's all I'm saying. All right, let's. Oh, and Whispers of the Old Gods is coming soon. Cthulhu is a monster.
Yeah.
Well, he's an old god, but he's a monster of a card. I mean, he's like it's
really interesting. Do we have time to talk about him real quick?
No.
We can move on.
No, I don't think so. We got so much other stuff.
Check it out, guys. The gameplay is really, really cool. Check out the Cthulhu cards.
It is really cool. And all the cards are not released yet, right? So we don't have.
No. They haven't released all of them.
Right. So they're coming. They're coming out soon. We'll hopefully be able to talk about them a little bit more intelligently on a future show.
Yeah.
So there. Well, not Darius. He won't be able to, but that's okay.
Darius still hasn't activated.
Someone told me to say something today about Hearthstone.
Okay.
Oh man, people get angry. It was American Hearthstone winter champion.
Okay.
Justin Bieber something. I don't remember. I don't even know why I try.
Awesome.
Do those words work together in a sentence? None of that seemed like.
I'm trying to remember. Someone sent me a very angry text about how we don't talk about Hearthstone and something about Justin Bieber and the winner.
Well,
I don't know.
Justin Bieber is a pretty amazing Hearthstone player, I've heard. That's what I hear.
It's about his hair. That's what it was.
Well, while you think about Justin Bieber's hair, let's move on to heroes, because Mick. I want you to kind of talk about this, because a lot of stuff happened, and it really, if you guys want an in-depth thing about everything that happened in Heroes of the Storm, listen to Stormcast this week, because even though your Skype failed and your computer was all over the place, you guys managed to put out quite a bit of information on the show.
Yeah, we did have a little stream problem this last week. But
so what are the highlights and lowlights of everything that they put out in the last week or whatever?
this might be the biggest week of news for Heroes of the Storm since we got into the game going live. I think when the game actually launched, and that was when they had a lot of exciting announcements about Eternal Conflict and 3 new heroes, and there was a lot of news around this time. And since then, the news has been steady for Heroes of the Storm, but it's always been fairly moderate in terms of hero and that. This last week has been absolutely insane. Not only are we getting a brand new hero, which is a melee warrior for Dahaka out of StarCraft universe, which a lot of people think is exciting. We also got announced that we have a brand new map that's very different from any other map that we've seen before in Lost Caverns. It's a single lane map, and it's basically built for ARAM. So if you are interested in playing all random, all mid, then this is a map specifically designed to that. It's only featured right now in custom matches, but it is a really cool map. I know some folks have played it, and have the feedback so far has been it's really a lot of fun. It's got no objectives. It's just simply you against the other team. Go, 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 go. Who can get to the next score the fastest? So that is a big announcement. But then on top of all of that, probably the biggest feature to come to Heroes of the Storm since it was launched, and something that's been clamored for by players for so very long, which is a ban system is finally being put into place for Heroes of the Storm. Now, for those of you who don't play MOBA and you don't play Heroes, you don't really know what this means. But basically, when you're drafting in ranked play or drafting in a custom match, you will now have the opportunity to prevent the other team from picking a particular hero, both at the top of the draft and then after everyone has made 3 picks in the draft. This is important, of course, because when new heroes are introduced or there's potentially an imbalance, it helps the community shift the meta back to a balance point before Blizzard has time to react by simply just using bans on heroes that are a little overpowered. In the last 3 weeks, this was incredibly true with Rhaegar, Li Ming so high up on the win rate and popularity and picks in rank play. Those would have been heroes that would have been banned, which would have made for a much more interesting meta within the context of ranked play. So bans is something that people have wanted for a long time. It's not the completion of the matchmaking fixes that Blizzard has promised, but this goes a long way. And I think the more exciting things that you can speculate out of this is the fact that we're not that far away from finally a first season of Heroes of the Storm rank play, which may also include some other big changes like tiers, gold, silver, and bronze.
All right.
And that's a really big, exciting announcement because these bans kind of have to be in place in order for that to be taken seriously in the MOBA community. And then last but certainly not least, a ton of hero redesigns to Kael'thas, Sylvanas, Illidan has been reworked, Tychus has been reworked, and there's been a series of Gazlo changes as well as other objective stuff to the Garden Terrors and all these other things on the map. So it's been a really big week. Sylvanas actually got a brand new heroic, so Possession is gone, now replaced with Mind Control for you Hearthstone fans.
Ooh.
So a lot of big changes, biggest patch we've ever seen out of the Heroes of the Storm team, and they were walking around in Twitter at least yesterday and Reddit with a lot of swagger in their pants. So they're excited about this patch.
In their pants?
In their pants.
Wow.
Swagger in the pants. Yeah.
Gotta write that down. Maybe show title.
In a week where we have, Swirlwind swagger pants.
Mm-hmm.
In a week where we have also kicked off Heroes of the Dorm this last weekend. And that went through the rounds of 64 and the rounds of 32. And that's a big fun event that we now are expected to have every single year, which also will be broadcast on ESPN later in April. Mm-hmm. Then, it's been just a big, massive week for Heroes of the Storm. And they got to get some big news out and going before that Overwatch game hits.
Yes, they do. And Overwatch, speaking of Overwatch, those guys just released a huge bunch of notes right before the show, like an hour before the show. So thanks, Overwatch, for making my job jobbier. Yay! And from what we can tell on the patch notes so far, they did a rebalancing last week, or actually over the last couple of weeks, really. I mean, they've kind of been monkeying with a bunch of stuff, so I think it's being refined, which is always nice. But other than that, we also have, for the stuff that just dropped today, we know that there's going to be a new escort map called Route 66. Very cool, very fun. I'm excited for this. There will be a new play mode, which will be the Weekly Brawl. And the Weekly Brawl, according to the notes, is going to work kind of like Hearthstone. Same type of thing. So they're going to try to do, crazy rules or unique rules or whatever, so that like one game, everybody plays one character, like Soldier 76. And then another week, you'll have to be a random, character, and you'll just have to.
This week it's Genji versus Hanzo.
And they're in the right now in the beta, they're doing it every day. They're testing new things every day. So it's not by a week; it'll be by day.
Well, that's cool.
So yeah, and they'll do like all support or something like that. I actually did I was doing a stream with that I do called Drinking and Swearing on Friday nights, and we were doing Overwatch stuff, and we did all Torbjorn. That was interesting.
I had an awesome
turrets.
All Torbjorn game
All
once, and it was an absolute win. But that was back before they nerfed
And
it.
and this was just a couple of weeks ago. And guess what? Torbjorn won. The offense won. They actually made it. So it was kind of cool. It's kind of cool. So they're going to be doing a bunch of weird stuff with the weekly brawl. Very nice. There's also going to be personal gameplay highlights instead of just gameplay highlights, and they're also redoing that stuff as well to make it maybe a little bit more relevant. And achievements, and I don't know, what else did you guys see?
There's so much in here. So there's balances, which is the balances have been good. The fact that they are so quick to make balance changes and to try different things is great. It's what the beta needs. It's not like a WoW patch, even in the alpha, where sometimes they're months apart. This is sometimes days apart. You'll see the balances, which is great. So there's a bunch of those. Which have been really good. There's as you mentioned, there's achievements. There's some really good UI changes, like the medals. They finally fixed those. Those looked horrible at the end of the game. There's like you said, there's highlights. You'll be able to get those. There's a bunch of new skins in there for the classes. They fixed it so that healers will start seeing more of the player cards at the end, and when you are a healer and it has your stats at the end, you'll actually see heals instead of final blows and things like that. So you get to see how you're doing a little bit better. They finally fixed the bug that I know Tovo has been dealing with since the beta launched, where it doesn't save your key bindings when you close the game.
Oh no!
Yeah.
No way!
Does he rewrite his keybinds every time he
Time he plays, he has to
man.
fix his keybinds.
Oh man!
So they're finally fixing that, or they claim they're fixing that. They've updated some of the maps, or specifically Nepal. Nepal's gotten some changes to it.
Mm-hmm.
They fixed the social menu. They've also fixed it so that when the party leader leaves a game, it doesn't disband the party when he does it. The party
wait,
will
hold on a
stay
sec. Hold on a
intact.
sec. I need to find the big. There's the big applause button right there. Oh my gosh!
That's been in there since the very first alpha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. That is
Glad they
cool.
finally fixed that.
Another thing they're doing is they are doing XP bonuses for people that play multiple games in succession, and they're also doing leaver penalties, meaning that if you leave once, it's an auto loss, but if you keep doing it, you're going to find it harder to gain XP in future games. So that's kind of a big deal as well.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. Lots of people like to jump out in the middle of games.
Yes.
Yeah, if people think they're losing, they'll definitely jump out.
Yep.
So keep people in there.
They took out the ability to rate players. You can no longer do that.
Aw.
Which is fine because I just rated everybody negative. So, but you
even like Tovo and stuff like that, you're negative.
But you can so it's been removed from the end of the match screen. You can still rate players, but you have to go into the social menu to do it. And it's not.
I see.
It's not like it used to be before. And they're still using that for matchmaking and things like that. And you can still rate the match though, which is good.
Good.
And they changed. I don't think we talked about this yet. They changed the play of the game, the way play of the game works now as well.
Right. They're doing a few different versions, right?
Right. They've got 4 different categories kind of play of the game. One is high score, which is what play of the game sort of is now. The larger the multi-kill or the quicker your kill streak, the higher this is going to be. Mm-hmm. Lifesaver is a type of play of the game. For example, if a Reinhardt has charged somebody and another player on your team kills that Reinhardt before he smashes you into a wall, that player would get a lifesaver points. Sharpshooter is if you have done a difficult or skillful kill, and then Shutdown, where a player kills another player right as they're about to do something particularly impactful, canceling an ultimate or something like that. Reaper comes in and starts his Death Blossom, and you kill him right before he, as he
do it, because that Death Blossom is horrible.
That would be a shutdown, a high shutdown score.
Right.
And it says the player who has the highest score in any of these 4 categories at the end of the match will receive Player of the Game. And it looks like it'll rotate between these 4. I don't know exactly how they're going to be picking it. I'd have to read a little bit closer to this, but yeah. So it's bringing in more things than just look at how fast I got a kill streak, and recognizing other difficult and aspects of the game.
Right.
And game saving moments. Yeah. More than just killing kill streaks,
which is all cool, man. Yeah, we just got this news like 2 hours ago. So
yeah, right.
Actually, less than that. It was like just before the show. Hey guys, by the way, look to the notes, please. But yeah, it looks cool. So I'm kind of glad they're filling out this game and they're making it a little bit better, a little bit more refined, and getting it in shape for that big release in May 24th, right? That's what we got.
Yeah.
Yep. So there. So look for that. Anything else that we need to talk about? There's a lot of news this week. Yeah. So no show next week. No.
That's how it works, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's feast or famine. But no, lots of great news. So I mean, it's really, really cool to see, and it's good to talk about and all that kind of stuff. But I think we probably should go. It's about that time.
Bye.
It's about, well, we got more. We got other stuff to do. And I'm just gonna play that music right there. Now I'm gonna do this for shout outs from the fellas. Any shout outs or other stuff that's going on?
Yeah. I have a shout out. Just I mentioned it earlier, but a big shout out, huge shout out to Dreadnought, who's at Tempo Dread on Twitter, for coming in and coaching us. I mean, I know it was a paid gig for him, but at the same time, it's just I would just anybody that's interesting that I think he does individual coaching as well as team coaching, and you can look at his, I think Twitch has his prices for that. Absolutely worth it if you're interested in something like that. He's pretty backed up, so it might be a while before he gets to you, but really, really cool stuff that he's able to do.
That's got to be just a treat.
It was just one of those things. Yeah, it's just like, I mean, he's arguably, absolutely one of the best players in the world. And at one point we were just doing it's almost cheating. We were doing a team league. We were doing a team league together, and he was watching on our Skype. We were share screening on Skype, so he was watching our team captain on Skype, and he was basically shot calling to help us learn how to shot call.
Wow.
So we had one game where we were being shot, and the way like I said, he's so passionate. I mean, he's just yelling and screaming the whole time, and not in a negative way, just very passionately excited, getting you excited, like kill him now, go for him now, dive for his head, kill him, smear the ground with his blood. Like,
wow. Wow.
Oh, it was so much fun, and it gets you so hyped, and definitely recommend it to anybody that is interested in improving in Here's the Storm. Services like that, especially Dread's coaching services, really, really
very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Anybody else shout outs or you want to plug something that you're doing? Mick, what do you got coming up? You've always got something coming up.
Yeah, well, we got episode 89 of the Stormcast coming up this week. We also have episode 149 of the Starting Zone, a World of Warcraft podcast coming out this week from Spazbot Studios. It's going to be a WoW interview with Sparty Smallwood. So if you know Sparty and you know his guild, we're doing a whole interview with him about how he got started playing, the growth of his guild, and his stream and all that good content. So there's that there too. Very and of course, if you like The Walking Dead, we have Dead Fans Talking, talk about the latest episode of Walking Dead. And we started talking about Daredevil over on Super Heroic.
Oh, dude, Daredevil.
SuperHeroicshow.com.
Daredevil.
I haven't started watching it yet.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm on like episode 5. Oh, so good.
I loved season 1.
So good.
Season 2 better than Season 1. Can't believe it, but it's true.
I will agree on that so far. Yes, I will. Say, I wanted to do a special shout out at the right now, and just because we didn't have a show last week, and there was news last week that John Brown, otherwise known as Zarheim, Zarman About Town, is no longer at Blizzard. And I just wanted to say thanks, John, for all that you've done for this show and for the community around, just in general. I mean, so much stuff. And it's I'm sad that you're no longer there, because I liked having a friend over at Blizzard.
Well, yeah. I mean, John did a lot for all of us that do shows.
Yeah,
you know, getting us connected with the PR teams and helping us out with getting us information in a good fashion, and just being a general go-to person. So, you know, it's sad to see him go, for sure.
Just a good guy, good friend, and he plays a mean conga. So there. So good luck to you in the future, John. We wish you all the best from CTR, definitely, and our lovely community thanks you for all that you've done. So with that, let's see. I will play this music. Get us off the show. By the way, I also want to say thank you to all of you guys out there, all the guys out in our chat room, all the guys and gals out in the greater audience as well. Thanks for taking us with you wherever you go. We cannot do the show without you guys. And if you guys want to talk to us, it's really, really, really easy now. You can always email us at converttoraid@gmail.com. You can call us and leave comments and questions on our raid line, 612-787-RAID. You can follow us on Twitter at converttoraid, or individually, right, Darius?
Oh, yeah. We have Pat Crane. He is at Pat Crane with a K. We have me. I am at BoredMind with a B. Mm-hmm. We have Mick Montgomery, who is the longest Twitter handle. It's Mick Montgomery.
You're right.
Barely fits.
With an M. 2 M's, actually. 3 M's. 3 M's.
3 M's.
And
all
then...
Not in a row.
I don't know who this other guy is. Shrek Sharku. Okay.
Yes. Sharku,
underscore CTR. I don't know what the CTR stands for.
That is right.
Convert to Ritalin.
That's what Darius needs right now. And you can also join us on Discord, like we said before. Discord.converttoraid.com. You can join the Bazuba Guabo Nation by heading over to converttoraid.com as well, where we have show downloads, forums, videos, audios, tons of links for raiders, and so much more. It's all over at converttoraid.com. Guild stuff as well. And we're also on iTunes, Google Play. We're on the internet. We're also live streaming on alphageekradio.com for those guys that want to listen on your Roku or whatever. Listen to us live and take us with you wherever you go. That's the way to do it these days. That's what the kids are doing. The Convert to Raid podcast is produced and distributed by Signals Media. Make sure to check out all of our friends over on the Signals Media All-Star Network at signalsmedia.com. And that's it for the show. That's it. So we'll see you. No, thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on our next show, hopefully next week. I'm assuming there will be no news, though. But that'll be at our regular time, Tuesday, 9 p.m. Central, for all the guys that Convert to Raid. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.